Here. What's up, guys? Happy Friday, man. Big Friday night of baseball on the docket tonight. Was bigger, got smaller, still big. Been there before. That's dumb. Hey, last night, Shohei Ohtani from the all-day slate, 38 fantasy points. From the main slate, a five-man Baltimore Orioles stack, the play, and then Aaron Nola, 25 fantasy points. He went 7 innings for the Phillies. Did not get the win, despite leaving the game with like a 6-run lead. Oh my goodness, it was rough. But shout out to Mets fans. Tariq Skubal, 6,500. Did not get to any of that, but I did concede that this year his metrics, his ground ball rate, plus his what we've known to be his decent and very respectable strikeout rate, he was underpriced for the talent. But I didn't get to him. It's all good. I got to a lot of Bryce Harper, a lot of Kyle Schwarber. Didn't get to Nick Martinez. My favorite pitcher on the slate was Shane McClanahan, and he only got through 5 innings, got 5 strikeouts. So did hit the over 4.5 strikeout prop for those of you that tailed that on the special taco for PrizePicks yesterday. But man, absolutely kind of a disappointing outcome for him. But nonetheless, he was so high owned that that didn't impact me. The Byron Buxton, man, the twin stack projected for 50% owned. So I took a bold stand and just hoped that if I was on the other side of that coin flip with the variance in baseball, I would be on the right side. Wasn't quite the case, but I made up for it with my alternatives. Manny Machado, one of my favorite plays on the slate yesterday, went Yabo for me twice. I had Jose Altuve, had the Schwarbers and the Harpers, although they were pretty high owned as well. So I was able to overcome the Buxton home run. But hey, what are you gonna do? That slate was a pretty small condensed slate where you really got coagulated in where you wanted to or should have been for pitching and hitting. Today, much bigger slate, a couple of big arms on the slate. We had bigger arms on the slate, the Garrett Coles, the Max Scherzer, stuff like that. But because of a lot of rain up in the Northeast, a lot of games, 3 games to be exact, already postponed, maybe more, I'm not sure, but we shall see. What up, chat? What up, Spencer? What up, Trickaroo? Jimmy in the chat, Colin in the chat. Appreciate you guys stopping by on a Friday afternoon. And we're going to try to do the research as fast as possible, but I do have about an hour and 40 minutes to get it done, so no need to rush. If you guys have specific questions or if you guys have some hunches or something that you want to look at, definitely drop it in chat. If you already started your research, share the notes, man. This isn't necessarily a stream designed to give you paint by number advice. It's more of an open research session, so that's the vibes, right? It is brought to you by RunDFS.com. If you guys ever want access to the spreadsheet that I'm going to be using throughout the duration of this stream, go to RunDFS.com, click VIP memberships, get signed up. Several options out there right now. And of course, every membership comes with a credit towards Fantasy Cruncher. So if you are going to optimize and multi-mass center your lineups, I personally use Fantasy Cruncher. So if you jump in the premium Discord and you're like, hey, how do I do this with Fantasy Cruncher, blah, 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 just tag me. I'll let you know how I do it, and so on and so forth. So let's jump over to the weather report via Kevin Roth. This is rotogrinders.com/weather/MLB. He had called the big weather concerns. I actually saw him tweet about it last night, but definitely called a lot of this weather concerns this morning. 3 of those big concerns already postponed. We lost the Cubs game, the Yankees game, and the Phillies game. Now we are keeping an eye on Pittsburgh at Cincinnati, which I think that's not. Is that on the main slate? I don't think that's on the main slate. MLB schedule for today. Pop it open. No, that's not on the main slate today, so it's not a big concern for me. The Royals game, Royals at Baltimore, that is on the slate. It says models currently show a mostly dry start. Light rain moves in early with heavy game-ending rain a few hours in. It's too early to trust the exact timing, but I think that general idea is likely correct. Maybe they can play some before it gets too heavy. So we'll make sure that we do have that. Yeah, we have that tagged as orange. Lets us know to keep an eye on that. What else we got, Mr. Roth? White Sox at Boston. Boston is just north of the same swath of rain impacting New York and likely Philadelphia. Models right now show that the rain is holding just south, allowing this to play without an issue. Parentheses, I reserve the right to drastically change this forecast if the rain comes in farther north, but I don't think I'll have to. So we will... we'll tag this. Let's go yellow on that. And then Toronto at Cleveland. It's not a washout. It's just so dang ugly for baseball. Scattered light showers, cold temps, winds over 15 miles an hour. It's not as wet, cold, nor windy as Chicago, but it's close in all aspects. I think they likely just play in ugly weather with an off and on rain. Good weather for starting pitchers if it plays. All right, cool. We did tag that as orange, but I'll tell you what, we'll go half yellow, half orange, since that's kind of the vibes of that blurb. And then Milwaukee at Atlanta. A spotty sprinkle or two is possible. Nothing that should impact the game. Winds out to left to 15 to 20 miles an hour on a warm night. Sounds a lot better than some of these other spots. All right, cool. So those are the trouble spots. Shout out to Kevin Roth, Roto-Grinders, for that free resource every day. Let's bust open the spreadsheet. We got all our tabs open, and we should be good to go. What up, Quinn? What up, Neville? Hope you guys are doing all right. We got basketball back today. Who knows who's playing, right? Joel Embiid out, upgrade doubtful. Kyle Lowry exists. Could get weird. Anyway, let's jump into game one here. So, games that we expect to play. Remember, this game could not play. It could play. It could get ugly. Carlos Hernandez and the Royals up against Jordan Lyles and the Orioles. Royals have a 3.9 implied run total. The Orioles 4.3. Neither pitcher is worth grabbing. However, sometimes in these rain-shortened games, pitchers can steal a complete game, the points for a CG. So that is a range of outcome here. I wish either of these pitchers were a little bit better to trust and maybe take a dart at that. I probably don't. I think the likeliest approach for me in this game is I'm just going to full-fledged avoid it. But on the season, a 10.3% swinging strike rate for Carlos Hernandez with a 5.6 xFIP and a 5.86 Sierra. So no redeeming qualities that I really want to get behind here. Ground ball rate is higher than the fly ball rate, so that's good. But man, he's just generally not great. And Jordan Lyles, much of the same, right? We'll pull up his card. I don't think we're going to be shocked from anything batted ball data wise from this season, but we'll do our due diligence and double check. What up, Constance? You're a bunch of years in the chat. That's what you like to see. 9.6% swinging strike rate on Jordan Lyles. xFIP Sierra well above 4.3. So it's better than Hernandez so far, but it's still nothing that you want to go grab. So I think I'm full fading either pitcher here. The offenses are going to be hard to trust as well, but it's one of those, hey, if you're not touching the pitchers because they suck, well, then why aren't you playing the hitters? And you saw last night, Orioles, they were a 100K winning stack. So absolutely can justify getting to either side. You just have to maybe wrestle with your thoughts on this game playing for nine innings, making it worth it, making it not. If I had to key in on specific bats to target, looking at the bomb detector, Salvador Perez profiles pretty well against Jordan Lyles. Last year, Lyles had a 1.8 home run per nine, two righties, and he has sustained that in the last two seasons. And if we go look at his batted ball data from this season and kind of see if he's still allowing a high tick of hard contact and pull rate and all that crap to righties. Let's see, against righties, a 25% line drive rate. That's up there. Ground ball rate's good, and we can true fly ball rate him really, really down. So I'll give him that. He's definitely improved in that category. Now he's a 1.7 ground ball to fly ball ratio guy, and that wasn't quite the case last year. The pull rate's still elevated. The hard contact rate is okay. He has allowed no homers to righties so far. So maybe we proceed with caution with Salvador Perez projecting so well. He has, however, allowed 4 homers to lefties so far. And that's something. 36% fly ball rate to lefties, over 20% line drive rate to lefties. Hard contact rate's actually lower, but the pull rate is higher. So it makes sense in that park that less righties will go Yabo on him, and the park didn't adjust against lefty power. But there's not really a lot of lefty power in the Royals lineup, almost none to speak of. Andrew Benintendi to an extent, but not really. So yeah, it's just a whole bunch of yuck going at it. And I think I cherry pick and hope that the weather keeps this game ugly enough and neither pitcher has a pure optimal outcome. But there's definitely a range of outcomes where if this game does wash out halfway through, one of these pitchers might steal a CG, maybe even a CGSO, because it only goes like 5 or 6. You know what I mean? Here, what up, Justin Sports? What up, Pinstripe Pimp? What up, Gilbert? Man, we lost our game, man. We lost our game tonight. What am I supposed to do with my life on a Friday night? Go out? No. Moving on to the next game here. Blue Jays taking on Shane Bieber. His mama don't like me. She likes everyone. We've got an implied run total for the Blue Jays at 3.6, 3.1 on the Guardians. I closed out what he said on this one. I should just leave that open at all times because my memory sucks. So let's pull that back open. The Kevin Roth, rotogrinders.com/weather/MLB weather report. So he told us that this game, not a washout, it's just ugly, blah, 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 blah. Good weather for SPs if it plays. Okay, so both of these pitchers certainly have the ability to be the best pitchers on the slate now that we've removed the Garrett Coles, the Max Scherzers, guys like that. Again, wrestling with the weather, but if it's going to be in the low 50s, if the wind's going to be blowing in, it's just going to be ugly. Yeah, like he says, it will benefit the pitchers more than the hitters. And Kevin Gausman is arguably the best pitcher in baseball right now. So I would want to have exposure to that. And you wonder if the elements might hinder him a little bit. Of course, pitching in Rogers Center and then coming from Oracle. Maybe it's a little bit different, but on this season, just an insane 21% swing and strike rate, a 73% first pitch strike, just absolutely pitching out of this world. A 1.83 Sierra, a 1.64 xFIP. Probably the best pitcher in baseball, if not, one in an expert consensus ranking. He's got to be in the top 3. If he's not, based on the first couple games, then I just don't understand what people would be looking at. So, because of that, yeah, we want some exposure to him. So I'm gonna add him to the list here. I didn't clear my pool from yesterday. Bam, 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 bam. All right, we cleared that from yesterday. I'm gonna add him to the list. I'm gonna introduce him as a tier 2 for now because of weather, and then we'll revisit that. Absolutely not somebody that gives us any underlying metrics that we want to pick on. Obviously, Jose Ramirez is a beast. So if he got sprinkled in one-offs or whatnot, go for it. But this is a really bad spot for offense. Really bad spot for hitters. On top of the fact that it's a great pitcher. Same with Shane Bieber. Now, Bieber hasn't been as pristine as Kevin Gausman, but he's definitely a perennial Cy Young contender. And he's young, and he's starting to slowly get back into form as he stretches out, get some more bullets fired. He's got a 13.6% swing and strike rate so far, and a batted ball data 3.17 Sierra, 3.14 xFIP. The Blue Jays still carry this menacing aura about them, but they really haven't translated that game to game lately, and maybe some of it's due to the absence of Teoscar Hernandez. Yesterday, I think George Springer had the day off, so there is, a couple of justifications on why they're not popping off lately. And then, of course, that Yankee series, they were just up against some really tough pitching, but that's not going to be a difference here. Shane Bieber, definitely a tough pitcher, but I'd be more likely to grab some of these Blue Jay stacks, hoping for some sleeping bats against a Shane Bieber, because he is allowing some fly balls, he's allowing some line drives, a little bit hard contact, not a ton, and I'd really want to key in on his righty split. So is there anything specifically we want to go after? Yeah, he's allowed a 463 slugging so far to righties. What's the batted ball telling us on him for righties? Hard contact somehow lower, but all the power to the right side, right? 36.5% pull rate, 37% fly ball rate, and a 25% line drive rate. And this is why I was on Manny Machado yesterday against Jesus Luzardo. Line drives are like the likeliest to become hits because they're a rope. So yeah, if you put that line drive rate against guys like Springer, like Bochette, like Vladdy, even Teoscar Hernandez could be back today. This lineup gets some help. So I will have a couple of shares of Blue Jays if weather shakes out here. But both pitchers in the player pool. I'm going to introduce Bieber as a tier 3 for now, and we're going to have Gausman tier 2. Gausman has an ability to go to tier 1 just based on him being one of the best pitchers on the planet. But we're going to wait for weather. We're going to kind of fill out the slate for me. Gausman only has a 20% K rating versus lefties. How many lefties has he faced? 13.2 innings. I mean, that's a decent sample size. So maybe something to watch there. Yeah, it could be a definite downtick in some strikeout potential. And the lefties that they got don't really strike out a ton. So 20% still isn't like horrendous, but yeah, it's definitely not 30%. But if we can make it up with a couple of these righties, yeah, something to watch. I think ultimately he'll probably stay as a tier 2 here, but that's definitely something to keep an eye on. Let's see. Look at some of this batted ball data to lefties. Ground ball rate's at 50%. Almost a 1/6 ground ball to fly ball rate. So keeping a ball on the ground, even though he's not striking them out. Infield hits a little bit unlucky at 10.5%, so that could become a little bit better. Intriguing. Yeah, interesting. What up, Jason? This game plays. Again, I don't like to play weatherman. I just trust the guys that are literally weathermen. So my usual decision is, based on the vibes that Kevin Roth puts out, and the way he worded it suggests that it's not a washout. It's ugly for baseball, good weather for SPs if it plays. So definitely proceeding with caution this far out, and asterisking anything that I do want to grab here with the ability to pull the rug out if we do lose it. And it's definitely not. We've already seen 3 games called, so it definitely wouldn't shock me if a couple more kind of follow suit here, and we just get a lot of doubleheader baseball over the weekend. Used to call Gausman Gasman. Yeah, right? Crazy, right? There's a lot of pitchers with trajectories like that where, it takes them a while to get to where they need to be. Garrett Cole used to, when he was at Pittsburgh, I used to go crazy grabbing some lefties against him, and, he started finding it. So, Kevin Gausman definitely an incredible example of somebody that's really, really turned up and become a possible Cy Young. All right, let's move on to the next game here. You're going on Expression Oswald last night. That's funny, Blue. Yeah, man. So when me and Eric do some shows, it's a lot of fun. I definitely we definitely have some good chemistry for comedic timing. And if we can make you guys smile and laugh for something that can be as boring as baseball, that's the goal. So it's yeah, I'm glad to see that like a lot of people were really just enjoying themselves in chat yesterday, and hopefully grabbing some value away from the content as well. But yeah, man, that's my goals, man. I try to be a little bit more animated and colorful with content when I can. This is a little bit more boring because it's just me and I'm just researching. But yeah, if I have a co-host, man, I definitely try to have some fun here. All right, what are we doing here? We need to go to the White Sox and Red Sox. There's a whole lot of Sox in this game. This game is leading the league in Sox. Vince Velasquez taking on Nate Eovaldi. We've got a 3-point implied run total, 3.8 implied run total for the White Sox, 4.9 for the Red Sox. Velasquez, former Philly great, taking on Nate Eovaldi. Just a quick look back at the weather here. Says Boston's just north of that same swath of rain impacting. All right, so he thinks that this game shouldn't get hit with rain, but it could. So yellow. With that said, it was all yellow. With that said, Eovaldi likely to be introduced into the pitcher playing pool. Although I do have some respect on the White Sox name and the bats, but this is more of a team I like against lefties. Against right-handed pitching so far, they have not really been that good. At last update, I got a 74 WRC plus as a team against righties. Let me double check that, make sure that's accurate. They didn't play yesterday, right? That was from yesterday morning from my most recent stat pool, so let me double check that. And Eovaldi is good. The Red Sox maybe not so much. The bullpen maybe not so much. But Eovaldi is good. So let's split teams versus righties. Hello, Mia Moore. I love you. Yeah, White Sox have the third worst WRC plus against righties. Is that sustainable? We'll see, right? How many people thought that this would be a White Sox or a World Series contending team? And so far, oof. They have been riddled with injuries. Eloy Jimenez, Yohan Moncada, I get it. And it's still just, a month into the season. So I definitely am not overreacting here, but you expect more, right? Anyway, Eovaldi, certainly a guy that we can put in the mix here, and definitely more so now that we have lost some pitching, and maybe, the path to Bieber and Gossman becomes a little bit more muddied if we lose that game. So far this season, Eovaldi a 13% swinging strike rate. If you take out the Toronto and Detroit games, it's a little bit higher, to maybe 15%. The batted ball data is giving us a sub 2.6 Sierra, a sub 2.63 xFIP. Those metrics are great, and we know he's relatively stretched out, right? So we can give him 90 to 100 pitches and hope for the best. 95, 101 in 3 of his last 4 games. So yeah, he's absolutely in the mix today. Despite the White Sox having some names that we normally don't go out of our way to pick on. Now, I'm probably still a sucker for the White Sox, and the Red Sox luck has not been great lately. So I can't imagine I wouldn't have any access to a White Sox stack when I do fire up my CSV. But I can't get away from a 9K Eovaldi. I think there's a real good chance he drops 20 plus fantasy points, right? So probably going to scumdacker that situation, play both sides, but I won't have too much hedging going on here. But I will get to some White Sox just because Tim Anderson can steal bases, Luis Robert can steal bases, and there's a little bit of pop here. So, yeah, Velasquez, however, not good, not great, not even. So we won't be pitching Velasquez. We'll visit his batted ball data so far this season, but we know he's really not worth rostering. Possibly worth picking on. 11.6% swinging strike rate so far this season. The batted ball data on his side, 3.89 Sierra, 402 xFIP. Obviously, that's a little elevated, but it's not the worst. The fly ball rate is high, 48%. The pull rate, 34%. The hard contact rate, 36%. So average numbers there. Let's say we can split that up lefty and righty, and maybe find a greater path to success. All of his homers so far have been against right-handed hitters, and he is just, this is reverse splits is what we're looking at, right? 394 average allowed to righties, 758 slugging. Holy. So let's look at the batted ball data against righties. 48% fly ball rate, 50% pull rate, 43% hard contact rate. All this is really bad. A 22% line drive rate. This looks like we want to attack Velasquez with right-handed hitters, and I'm not going to leave out Rafi Devers just because of that. So Xander Bogaerts, he went yard, I believe, yesterday. Was it yesterday or was it the day before? Whatever. It wasn't off of Ohtani, I think. But Xander Bogaerts looks really, really good. JD Martinez is starting to come alive lately. Trevor Story had a sombrero. Sometimes after a player gets the golden sombrero, he gets the day off. He didn't speak to the media afterwards, so we'll see if he's in the lineup. Maybe you get one of those lineups where they give Kike Hernandez a shot at the top. But I certainly would be looking to pick on Velasquez, especially with some righty power. And JD Martinez and Xander Bogaerts are probably the two guys I like the most. So Red Sox stack will be in the blender for me. They have about a 5-run total, so let's add them to the mix. Red Sox sense of urgency to win is high. I don't know if you guys have seen the AL East standings, but it's probably a little different than you expected it a month ago, right? The Red Sox are in last place, tied with the Orioles. 8.5 games back, so there's still definitely time for them to catch the good part of the strength of schedule. Obviously, the AL East gets a really nice, easy set of matchups with some porous teams. We've seen the Rays capitalize, teams like the Athletics, the Tigers, the Orioles. So Red Sox should be able to start scrapping back into it. Are the White Sox a team they're supposed to beat? Probably not, but at the same time, this is their ace for all things considered, and this is a game that they should take. So there should be some urgency for Alex Cora into being aggressive, jumping on Velasquez here. So I do like the Red Sox stack, and I definitely like JD Martinez and Bogaerts' batted ball data to profile well at taking Vince Velasquez over the Green Monster. Did Xander actually say that? I could see it, but it seems wild. Gunn was hilarious on Osmo. Yo, Sean. Sean, didn't you say you wouldn't go back to the Osmo chat if Kyle Schwarber didn't homer? I kept receipts, bro. I'm not gonna hold you to it, but I kept receipts, bro. I don't know, man. You might you might have to answer to somebody. Let's see, where am I at? That's me in the prison monkey suit. Here we go. We'll pull it up. I'm so confident in Schwarber going yard that I'll never show up here again if he doesn't. Come on, Sean. You have to change your name, bro. What up, Jonathan Adams? Red Sox called up Jarren Duran. All right, yeah, I got him in the projected lineup. We've seen Duran before, and I don't remember him. I remember him being fast, but I don't remember looking at. But with his speed, like I said, he could overtake Trevor Story. Your leadoff guy getting a golden sombrero. It's just historically you see teams shake that up. So we'll see if they decide to either give Trevor Story a day off or not lead him off. What up, Skimmer? Duran so far in the minors this season is batting .397. That's pretty good. 1 OPS. You like to see that. 7 stolen bases. So this is definitely a guy. And the sense of urgency to win is high. If he's gonna have this type of OBP with this type of speed, he should lead off. So we'll see if Alex Cora does that tonight. That would be my move. Get Trevor Story the F out of that leadoff spot. Put somebody up there that can get on base. Maybe manufacture some runs. So we'll see what he does. I had a call. I mean, I like Sean. He's weird, and Sean. Legitimately, how old are you? Because the vibe I get with your antiquated, maybe perhaps outdated baseball approach is just like, man, this dude's like a 56-year-old guy reading the Wall Street Journal. Oh man. All right, Brewers and the Braves. Eric Lauer taking on Jesse Chavez. We actually have a Braves confirmed lineup, so that's good. Chavez, is he a starter or is he a bullpen opener type? Because 27. All right, looks like opener type, right? Doesn't look like he's going to be have too many bullets under his name. So let's see if there's Strider. Spencer Strider is our long reliever today. All right, so based on what we got on Jesse Chavez from last year, was a whole lot better against righties than the 2 years prior. What is that about? And then just altogether, he's an opener, so he probably doesn't get one. Yeah, he probably just sees maybe the first 6 hitters, maybe the first trip through the lineup once. So I don't want to over-exhaust our research here. We'll just kind of bank on talent if we want to. But let's go see if we can figure out who Strider is. What up, MV? Boston game will be canceled. Baltimore game, Mets and Brucey. I definitely think that's possible, but Kevin Roth is kind of my go-to here. He thinks that they could just not get rain. Like, it's possible. He said models right now show the rain holding just south, allowing this to play without an issue. Obviously, that could change. He even, creates an insurance asterisk, but it's not a guarantee. What up, Sheriff? What up, Gun? Random question from a now casual baseball watcher. I used to watch a lot. Is Ohtani looked at like one of the greatest players ever? Yes. Never seen a player do from both sides like him. Yeah, he's definitely got that type of attention. He's the reigning MVP. He's must-watch TV. Greatest player ever. He's got some time, right, to bake in the oven before a lot of people co-sign that. But individually, you can make a case that he's had the greatest season ever for a player, right? And so far, an incredible start to this season, including a couple of amazing games on the bump. This game against the Astros, game against the Red Sox. So he has a chance to be the greatest player ever, absolutely. But I think with that conversation, you got to do more than a couple of years. But he absolutely is already in the conversation for potentially the greatest season ever. And then if he stays on the trajectory that he's on this season, double down on that for sure. Probably the wrong stream to ask. No, it's the right stream. We just chilling. I'm over 30, but well under 56. Well under 56. That's a specific number. All right, so Eric Lauer up against a bullpen game, we'll call it, with the implied run total for the Brewers at 4.4, the Braves at 4.3. So we need to do some digging on Eric Lauer, because what I've known about Eric Lauer is flipped on top of its head. And, I've been looking for regression. He's not going to be a double-digit strikeout guy. What is it? Well, earlier we talked about how Kevin Gausman used to be gas man in Baltimore. Lauer's gone from a pure contact guy with a extremely high xFIP to both sides of the plate. Last year, he had a 4.24 Sierra, a 3.92 expected ERA. K rate was respectable, 24%, but the swing and strike rate, 10%. Like, those weren't like elite numbers by any stretch of the imagination. And then so far this season, elite results: 11, 13 strikeouts in his last 2 games. What? Why? And I was looking at pitch mix and velocity and all that stuff, and for the most part, there wasn't like drastic changes. And then it seems to be that the movement on this fastball is the key, right? So let's see if we can show the difference. Let's see. Or we can find the difference, rather. I don't know. This year, so looking at the results on individual pitch types, his expected slugging on the fastball this season is 387, which was similar to last year. The 457 expected slugging on the cutter last year, 419. The slider went from 289 to 244. So some subtle drops. Curveball expected slugging of 616. Last year was 294. So that's gone up. I don't know, man. I just can't seem to put my finger on it, but it's the fastball that has just been netting much better results. The spin rate is up a lot. I'm almost a little less than 100 RPMs. The whiff rate has dang near doubled from 26.5% to 43.5%. So the the key is this fastball, and it's been working for him. In 2 games, it's 2 games. Maybe there's still regression. Maybe I'm a game late or a game early on regression. But this is a weird spot to be in, right? Because one, I don't know, the Cubs aren't great, right? They strike out quite a bit. That Philadelphia game was a weird one. That was the infamous Kyle Schwarber and Angel Hernandez argument game. You know what I mean? And he was getting some help from behind the plate. Both pitchers were. So I don't quite know what to expect from Lauer going forward. And this is a Braves team that I typically do like against left-handed pitching. Ozzie Albies, Ronald Acuna, Austin Riley, guys like that. Acuna's not in the lineup today. Oh yeah, he is. Acuna's leading off. I'm dumb. Acuna, Austin Riley, Ozzie Albies, like these are guys that I love playing against lefties. And the ISOs against lefties in the last 2 years, well over 200, 250 even, for over half the lineup. So I'm gonna be wrestling with what to do here, because fundamentally, it's hard to believe that Eric Lauer is a 10.3K pitcher, even more so against a team that I love against lefties, this Braves team, which is above average in WRC plus against lefties, and a lot of this is without Acuna. Now you throw Acuna back in the mix. So I haven't got a pulse on ownership or where the field is at, and maybe Eric Lauer is going to pick up more ownership now that we've lost the Scherzer, the Garrett Cole, potentially miss out on some Gossman or some Shane Bieber. So I'm going to be wrestling with this, meditating on this. I think the heart wants what the heart wants, and the heart does want to stack the Braves against the lefty. But man, there's that what do they call it? FOMO, fear of missing out. I have not been on this Lauer train, and you know that Phillies game was on Sunday Night Baseball, but I can honestly admit I would never play him. I wouldn't have played him anyway, and I didn't play him last night at 10K against the Cubs. So what do we do, chat? Do we play Eric Lauer? Are we buying what he's selling? Because the Sierra and the X-Strip the last 2 games are pristine, but they were not like that in the first 2 games. The swinging strike rate was under 7% in the first game. Do we give up everything we know about Eric Lauer because of the Cubs, the Pirates, Angel Hernandez, and the Phillies? Or do we trust the years of sample size? Well, I think I want to go with the sample size, but there are some people I love and respect that are on the Lauer hype train. I just don't get it. Fastball at 94 mile an hour, slider 87, cutter at 91, curveball at 80, and a little bit of the changeup. Looking back at last year, similar pitch mix, similar pitch velocities. The changeup not as much, right? So giving up on the changeup, I don't know, man. I just really don't have a read on what to make here. So I'd be curious to see what you guys are thinking, and what you guys are doing, right? What do you think the field's going to be at on him? John just says, I'm not sure on my pitchers because the rain, but I do love some Houston stacks. I get with that. Maybe try Ozuna, hammers Lauer if he has like 5 homers off him. Does he? I don't really look at BVP, but I will look at BVP. Did I put it in the spreadsheet today? I didn't. 1 second. Let's add it to the spreadsheet. That way the BVP truthers in the RedDFS.com VIP subscription can have it. But just to put it out, I don't use BVP as anything. I just don't. But it is fun to look at, and some of you guys do. So I respect everyone's process, even if it is not my own. So what was it, Lauer? Zuna's got a couple of them. Cool. Does any Brave hit the fastball more? What do you? I mean, they all do, right? Let's see. Yeah, they Acuna, Ozuna, Albies all have plus. The whole team basically has the stackable part has plus grades against fastball. Remember, he doesn't throw just fastball, but this team has a lot of positive grades against everything. I think I'm gonna stack the Braves, man. I just can't not stack Braves against lefties. Can't do it. I'm gonna light one of those incenses, man. Do some meditating, man. Maybe rain dance around my desk to decide whether or not I want to take some shots on Lauer. Because I'm not sure. I'm also gonna stack some Brewers here. We're gonna look at Strider as a pin, right? Long reliever for the Braves tonight. I like Lauer, but like you said, poor offense. Yeah, it just could be just like the perfect storm of strength of schedule, Angel Hernandez, and at the same time he could be making some adjustments, and leagues will adjust to the adjustments. I don't know. I'm just not seeing a massive difference in pitch mix, pitch velocity. There's a little bit of spin rate, a little bit of movement, but is that enough to compensate, for the results? I don't know. All right, so for Strider, we're getting big swing and miss stuff. Well, let me see how many innings he's in. 3.2. So 3 innings. We've got some 3-inning starts, 5 Ks, 3 Ks. Okay, so sometimes I wonder about inflated K numbers for bullpen guys because they get to come out, empty out the tank, throw every bit of energy. They don't have to manage their energy, nothing like that. But for his case, 3 innings or so. So that's cool. We can expect 1 trip, maybe 1.5 trips through the lineup. 3.92 Sierra, 4.18 xFIP. Let's split that up. Either side of the plate benefit more against him. Results-wise, there's been pretty even. It's not allowing any power, or the results are not allowing any power. The data says hard contact rate against lefties is higher than against righties, but that's still just 31%, right? 40% is where you start looking, right? So fly ball rate's up there. He's got a pretty high fly ball rate without an infield fly ball. But I guess these are all just like shallow flyouts because it's not really tied to a lot of hard contact. Pull rate is meh. So nothing that I would say fundamentally that I want to go out and pick on. But if you just want to bet on talent, the Brewers grabbing a bullpen game, maybe the Reds pitching staff woke these bats up. Guys like Rowdy Tellez, Christian Yelich, McCutchen, Willie Adames, all very, very, very playable. So I wouldn't talk off of that. And the park should be hitter friendly. It's 75 degrees with the wind blowing out to left center or to left field. So yeah, that's gonna help your righty pull hitters on both sides of the plate, and that's gonna make me like the Braves even more. I'm stacking the Braves. Gosh dang it, I don't care. I do got love and respect for the Brewers bullpen, man, but can't get away from it. Then the Brewers filthy bullpen comes in if they do knock Lauer around. Yeah, that's true. Like I said, I got respect for that bullpen, but it is what it is. I'll take some shots here. I can't avoid it. And then if they did put a big crooked number on Lauer, you may not get the upper echelon names. Who is probably active for the Brewers bullpen today? Ashby, another lefty I could pick on. Brent Sutter didn't pitch yesterday. Devin Williams has pitched 2 of the last 3 games. Maybe he wouldn't be a guy they go to. Is Josh Hader hurt? I don't see him on my list here. Let's see. Hader. Hader says he's no longer experiencing mid-back spasms. Will be available out of the bullpen Thursdays with the Reds. Okay, but he didn't pitch, right? Game log. The 27th. He hasn't pitched since the 27th. So I guess he would be available soon. If they technically had him available against the Reds the other day and he didn't pitch, I would imagine that's because those games were like football scores. He's probably going to be making an appearance in this series. So we probably throw Hader back in the mix. He's one of the best relievers in baseball. Still a lefty, though. Still a lefty. I do like this Braves team against lefties, and there's a lot of potential lefties out. I don't think you'll see Milner. You might see Boxberger if the game's close. You probably don't see Trevor Gott. We'll see. Not feeling Lowry yet. Willing to lose tonight to see one more game. Going to watch if possible. It's the reverse slot machine, right? If you're at the slot machine getting paid out, whatever, stick with it. If you're not, like me, I'm just going to stand over here like a jealous dude. Why ain't I playing that slot machine? I just don't like pitching against the full-strength Braves anyway. Anyway, let's move on to the next game. The Athletics taking on Josh Winder and the Twins. Winder. What's in a Winder ball? Zach Logue? Is that how we say this? These are two pitchers we're going to do a little bit of research on because I am not overly familiar with either one of them. The data that I have from last season is not much. Like, I'm barely getting minimum qualifications here. So we have to look into what we're working with. First of all, play discipline on... I'm assuming we're pronouncing this Logue. I don't want to disrespect the man, but I'm going on Logue. 7.4% swing and strike rate in that last game, in that only game. Batted ball data 4.61 Sierra, 4.85 xFIP. He went 1.1 innings, so that's, I mean, we're just looking at nothing for no reason. Then is this just a bullpen game? Minnesota, Oakland, rather, not Oakland. Logue. Says Logue will start Friday's game against the Twins. Southpaw was called from the Athletics on Friday. He'll officially make his first major league start since Cole Irvin is on the 15-day injured list. All right, so then let's go look at his minor league stuff. "26 years old. Last start was on April 29th. He went 5.1 innings, 4 innings to start before, and he's got a 1.5 whip in the month of April, a 2 ground ball to air out ratio, so that's good. No homer or 5 homers. Oh wait, no, that was not the case. He's actually got a 0.68 ground out to air out ratio with a 1.8 whip. Ooh, yeah. That's not good. That's not what you want. So that was, I think, the one. All right. Let's split that up. Against righties, 12.1 innings, 320. So he's been really just getting shelled in the minors, especially against righties. 5 homers and 12.1 innings. Not what you want. Not what you want. 186 whip. That's this year. We'll go back to last year, see if that's in his DNA. 24 innings last year against righties, 247 average. Let's see, 6 homers and 24. That's still pretty high. Usually about 1 homer per 9, right? So 6 and 24. You do the math. That's like a 1.5, 1.8 homer per 9. I don't know. So it looks like we want to be picking on this dude. And then looking at this bullpen. Actually, I should have went to pitching stats here. Just a 4.3. So yesterday, Correa got hit in the hand. I'm guessing he's either on the IL or not going to play today. And that's a little bit of a down tick. But Buxton is a bad man. So let's just look at overall bullpen. Let's go look at plus stats. So if you guys aren't familiar with plus stats, the way this stat works is 100 is the league average. Above and below would be above or below league average. And we just kind of want to get an idea on where Oakland's bullpen ranks versus league average. So obviously they're not going to be above league average in home runs allowed. That's going to be due to that park. xFIP for them is 98, so a little bit below league average. So it looks like average with a well above average walk per nine. All right, so I think Twins are certainly a stack. We're going young kid, jitters, big league start, sucks anyway. Yeah, we're stacking Twins. And Twins. And then we can look at Josh Winder a little bit. Got some peppers ready for NBA stream. You're going to eat some peppers on the stream? I feel like you should eat peppers just for, like, I don't know, playing Bam Adebayo. It's probably less painful. 12.2% swing and strike rate so far for Winder. He's got 4 starts, or 4 appearances, rather. I'll double check on whether or not they were starts. 6, 4, 5.1 innings, 83 pitches, so could be ready to go for up to 90 pitches. He's pretty cheap against a really bad lineup with a 12% swing and strike rate. Might be able to get down with this. 367 xFIP, 363 Sierra. Ground ball rate's great. We can true fly ball him down to like a 25% fly ball guy. Really good, really good underlying metrics here. What's that velo? What that velo do though? 94 mile an hour average fastball velocity. Slider's good. Curveball, pitch value, plus a really plus slider so far. Fastball getting a negative grade, plus curveball. Maybe we can get the 411 from Baseball Savant. So the fastball is a problem. So far, an expected slugging 689 on the fastball. Whiff rate's really, really low. So fastball's his worst pitch. It sucks when the fastball is your worst pitch because you usually use that to get a heading count. So with that said, athletics do suck. And look at these strikeout percentages in his projected lineup. I mean, holy. Noose is at 30%. Sean Murphy, Seth Brown, Piscotty, Chatty Pendergrass is at 28%. Kevin Smith. There's a lot of strikeout potential in this lineup. So his double-digit strikeout rate against a high strikeout, low-power team. I think we play him at 6,400. I think he's in the player pool. I think we do it. So we'll introduce him as a tier 3. What was I about to do? Oh, I wanted to go see if we had any like strikeout props on him against this lineup. Winder. 4.5 Ks? I mean, I know the K factor is going to give him like 7. If I give him like, I'll just give him 80 pitches, right? On this projected lineup. It's got to be like 7. Oh, it doesn't give me any because he has like no sample size. Alright, let's go. In that last game where he got 7 strikeouts against the Rays, I want to go see if a lot of the putouts were swinging. Because I am scared. I'm scared that his fastball looks like it's a bad pitch. So in the first inning, Brandon Lau struck out swinging. Margot struck out swinging. That's 2 struck out swinging. Lowe struck out looking. Brandon Lyle struck out swinging. Lowe struck out swinging. Paredes struck out looking. And that's it. So 4 of those Ks were strikeout swinging. I might dabble with the strikeout prop on him at 4.5. If we're at 90 pitches, and I'm just making that number up, you know. But going 83, I feel like 90's in the wheelhouse. Even 80 is interesting. I'm gonna play some Winder, but I wonder how many pitches he'll go. And at 90, I get probably a pretty decent strikeout projection against this lineup. So I'm playing some Winder. I'm stacking some Twins. Not playing any Lug. And that's all I got to say about that. Winder having a little bit of problems versus righties. Yeah. What kind of problems? It's just this Athletics team looks so bad, right? 6 Ks in 9 innings. So I mean, overall he's less than a strikeout per inning anyway. But can we get 5 and 6? This lineup is bad. Has a lot of power to righties. 231 BABIP to righties, so he's a little bit lucky too. xFIP's high. All right, I'm starting to lose my. I'm starting to sober up here. He's done better as a starter. 25% infield fly ball rate. I guess that's really where his BABIP is doing so well. All right, jury's still out. I guess you know what? We looked at Logue's minor league stuff. Let's see if Winder has reason to be excited. I don't have any Ghost or Reaper though, just Scorpion and Thai chili peppers. I don't even know what that is. That just sounds like some, bro. So like, when I used to work in a penitentiary, we used to carry like, you know, the law enforcement grade pepper spray, which is like essentially extracted pepper. Like, I don't know how they measure the hotness, but it was just like, what is it? SHUs or something like that. I don't know how they measure the hotness, but I had this big country hillbilly officer that worked for me, and he was eating a burrito. I was like, "Hey man, I bet you won't spray some of this on that," and he did, and like I watched. Like, I think I saw his cheeks sweat. Like, I didn't know that there was pores that could profuse. I wonder if you could eat some law enforcement grade OC spray, Josh. I feel like you're psycho enough and you could. Last year against lefties, 172 average allowed. Against righties, 29 innings, 39 strikeouts, 236. So if this is closer to what we might expect, you know, him to get to as a big league pitcher, he is more than a strikeout per inning, and it looks like we might be expecting him to look a little bit better against righties if he, you know, gets closer to what he did last year in the minors. And this Athletics team is a pretty minor league looking team, so something to watch. What up, Adam? You doing all right? Scoville units, that's what it is, Steve. You're right. So like we used to carry, and we only had like 6 ounces of it on our hip. I never used the stuff because it just made me more angry. But sometimes you'd have to fire it. What's good, Adam? Doing all right? Who is chalk on today's stupid big slate? I don't know, man. Usually the bigger slates, we don't have to worry too much about chalk if there's no cores. But we're losing games left and right due to weather, so maybe some guys just end up coagulated chalk because of, you know, where the weather's pushing us. Coagulated. All right, so what do we say? We're stacking Twins. We're pitching Winder. Not stacking Athletics. Tigers at the Astros. Bo Brisky taking on Luis Garcia. So I need to do something in the spreadsheet chat. I forgot to do it earlier. There's multiple Luis Garcias in the league. And I have to edit. I have to make sure that we're pulling Astros Garcia. So give me just a second. And I'll control F through and delete. I think there's one for like the Cardinals or something. Any of you guys ever taken like pepper spray to the face? All right, Houston, we're good. We'll take that one. That's a fun. Or got tased. I've never been tased or anything like that. People ask me that all the time. You ever been tased? Nope. All I had to do to qualify for the penitentiary was I had to pass a weapons training, obviously, to carry weapons. And then when you were inside them walls, man, all you had was a can of pepper spray and these hands. But I ain't never been tased. All right, Houston. These Manos. Houston. Washington. There's a Washington. Got pepper spray before? How'd you feel? The pepper spray. So when I went through, when I had to pass, we had like a training academy to when you first start working at the prison, right? You have to take the pepper spray to the face and fight. And then you have to there's OC spray, which is the pepper spray, and then there's CS, which is like little molecules that you ingest, and it makes you feel like you can't breathe. And that was the stuff that we would use to like it's like tear gas. We would combat riots and stuff with that. And that stuff kicked my butt. That's a different feeling. Like pepper spray, you don't feel like you're dying, right? It just burns. It hurts like a son of a gun. But that CS stuff, when you feel like you can't breathe, bro, that's a scary feeling. But whenever I had to fight, I last resorted that crap because I didn't. One time I was in a fight, and we had when backup arrived, I had this dude subdued, right? The sergeant on duty, she was very, very new and very, very scared. And while I got this dude on the ground, basically cuffed, she sprays us. Like she like froze and sprayed us. And so I'm walking around for all night with that effing spray on my face. And I go home to take a shower to get it all off me. And if you ain't under that water long enough, all it does is take the burn from here to a little bit lower, to a little bit lower, to a little bit lower. And if you don't stay long enough, when you get out that shower, that little bit lower might be a little bit higher than you want it. If any of you dudes are catching my drift, that sucked. All right, I think we got all the Luis Garcias out. So make sure if you ever get pepper sprayed, when you remove it, when you shower, take your time. Pepper spray and taser, had to have them both in order to carry them when I was in the Army. That's pretty cool, Keith. I appreciate your service. Like a Red Sox and Angels together, personally. Yeah, I like the Angels. When I worked, you had a pepper spray in the face when you worked for prison. There's a lot of prison history with us, huh? And B looks like he will play. What up, So 10.2% swinging strike rate on Luis Garcia. 399 Sierra, 439 xFIP. And then let me look at last year to make sure that the spreadsheet is pulling the right info. 391 on the Sierra. Last year on Garcia, I've got 398. So it's close enough that it might be the right numbers, but I just want to make sure we're pulling the right stuff here. All right, so what are the odds that we want to play some Luis Garcia tonight? How's that pitch count? Jack Harwell stories. Jack Harwell. What's that? Wait, Ariel used to work at Jack Harwell? I went up for a lieutenant spot there once, but ended up not going there because I was working for the state. .66, 5.2 innings last couple games for him. Strikeouts are meh, right? But the results are meh too. A whole lot of meh. Hits and walks, not what you want. I feel like I'll do without Luis Garcia tonight. This lineup is there's a little bit of strikeout potential in it, but not enough for me to bank on Garcia being the optimal on a 10-game slate. So I'll probably stay away from him. A split is I live in Round Rock. Oh, okay. Yeah, Jack Harwell is the county jail down here, right? In Waco. County's a little different. It's not as bad as prison. And you got see these people. Batted ball data either side of the plate. Fly ball rate's really, really high. Hard contact rate to righties is really, really high. Pull rate's really, really high. Do we want to pick on him with some power here? Who we liking? Javi Baez? Maybe? 60% fly ball rate. We can get that down to 50% if we take out the infield fly balls. Cool. Obviously, the home run to fly ball rate's a little elevated. But the pull rate and the hard contact rate really spell trouble for him. So this might be a spot for Javi Baez if he can connect. And what are we doing K percentage wise against righties? 25%. All right, so he can still strike out, but that might be a good Javi Baez spot. They let off Kill Badu yesterday. He's had a very mixed levels of success, to say the least, for the Tigers. We'll see if that keeps up. 4.93 xFIP against lefties, so could be a good spot for him and Austin Meadows. Yeah, I don't think I'm that interested in playing Garcia. Brisky, also probably somebody that I don't get behind, but we'll see. What's the best play on PrizePicks for MLB? Haven't really shopped the board too much. I was kind of curious with Winder's 4.5Ks though. Because in the minors last year, he did strike out, right? He's at a good clip. And so far, we're kind of seeing the batted ball data come together. And the projected athletics lineup is dog water. So a 4.5 might be a little too soft for Winder, and I'll take my chances. Although I don't know what to project this pitch count at. 80 seems reasonable. 90 also seems reasonable. Any lock Johnsons this fine evening? Lock Johnsons. Anyway, Brisky. So I don't think I'm going to end up playing anybody against the Astros. But yesterday, if you took shots on, what's the kid's name? The Scooble. If you took a shot on Scooble yesterday, you'd been all right. It was a good result. Even though Altuve got me that leadoff bomb. 4.3% swinging strike rate for Brisky after 2 starts. That seems suboptimal. 5.39 Sierra, 5.5 xFIP. Yeah, so I pretty much have seen all we need to see. We're not pitching him, and we don't need much to get behind an Astros stack. So we're going to add the Astros to the list here. And I don't have any intentions to pitch Garcia. So no Garcia, no Brisky. Moving on. I'm getting off Fangraphs or somewhere else looking up pitchers for minors. MLB.com. Add it to your bookmarks. That's where you can look up hitters and pitchers, minor league stuff. Like a little Detroit. Yeah, Keith, I think I'm digging a little shot of Javi Baez. I don't really love, I guess Torkelson, right? His metric or his big league stuff is low, but we still know this is supposed to be one of the best players, or one of their best players. So maybe he'll get a better spot in the order, scope, maybe sneaky pop. But I think Javi Baez would be the the guy if I had to call a guy to homer off of Garcia here, it'd probably be Javi. Had 100% Scooble. I mean, you braver man than me. Definitely worked, though. Kudos to you. He was really cheap. I did think he was too cheap on DraftKings for his talent. But I just went crazy with McClanahan, Aaron Nola, and Robbie Ray. McClanahan was not a great play. Only with 5 innings. Nats at the Angels. Joan Adon taking on Yami Barria. Angels with a 5.2 implied run total. Adon, we'll pull up his card. Yami Barria, we used to pick on him with righties, right? That's what it was. I feel like that's what my brain is telling me. Might have a little sneaky shootout opportunity here. 6.9% swing and strike rate. Now, he's found a little bit more the last 2 games, so maybe we'll look at the pitch mix to see if he's changed something. Looks like he's using changeup a little bit more. But both of those games were against the same team, so it also could just be like the matchups playing that well, like that. The Sierra and XFIP elevated the ground ball rate 1-to-1 with his fly ball rate. He also has an elevated line drive rate and not had an infield fly ball yet. So obviously his home run to fly ball rate it's going to look reasonable, I guess, 14%. Let's split that up. Let's split it up. 3 homers to lefties. Oh boy, Mr. Ohtani. We'll see if Ohtani's in the line. He should be, right? I know sometimes we watch him. He's had 8 walks in 14 innings to lefties. 5 walks in 9 innings to righties. 574 slugging allowed. So we'll also do him a benefit of the doubt and go look at his baseball savant expected metrics. But this is not looking great. Not looking great for old Doan. 43.5% hard contact rate to righties. Fly ball rate 35%. Line drive rates up there as well. Pull rates up there. Yeah, we're stacking Angels today. No ifs, ands, or buts. And then let's just see if the expected slugging and stuff on some of his pitches are what they should be. Let's see. 783 expected slugging on the fastball. Not what you want. It's actually worse than the slugging he's already allowing. So, yeah. He's going to be committed to throwing the fastball. And you have to be, right? You have to use that pitch. It's 66% of the time. Good God. Yeah, he's in trouble. So, we are stacking the Angels. So, Angels. You just made the list. And Barria starting for the Angels here. Bullpen guy. I think they had opened with somebody else like 5 days ago, and their fans were like, "This is dumb. We shouldn't be doing this." I think their fans might be in for a rude awakening. But with Barria, last couple games, 3 innings, 2 innings, 4 innings, strikeouts are less than a K per inning. The ground ball to fly ball rate is really 1-to-1. So I don't think he's going to be stretched out enough for us to really consider him for our lineups tonight. But do we want to pick on him? Because I'm okay with grabbing some Juan Soto and Josh Bell today. 8% swing and strike rate overall. The Sierra and XFIP is fine. However, like looking at the last 2 games, I guess 3 and 2 innings. I think with Barria, when we start projecting this guy who's going to pitch a little bit longer, we start seeing what we know. Like, he's not that good of a pitcher. So you can hide some of these guys in your bullpen, and you can put them against lanes that project bad, like your bottom of the order stuff. But has Barria really fundamentally changed anything for him to be all of a sudden a good pitcher? Probably not, but we'll look into it. Fastball, 92 miles an hour, 43% usage. Slider, it's basically a fastball slider pitcher, a little bit of changeup. We look at last year, fastball slider, a little bit of changeup. And he obviously wasn't good last year. He had a 4.63 xFIP to righties, 5.07 to lefties, with a 1.57 WHIP, expected ERA, Sierra, all that over 5. So you probably expect regression the more he has to actually be up and out there against the heart of the lineup guys. So I know there's a lot of happy Angels fans seeing their pitching staff get the results that they're getting, but I do wonder if maybe Berea's maybe lucky, maybe overachieving. I don't know how to say that politically. Against lefties so far, 353 average allowed, 2 of the homers so far against his only 2 homers against lefties, and has allowed 3 doubles to righties. So there's still definitely some power being allowed here. And then do we get StatCast metrics? What's the barrel rate? 11% barrel rate. I mean, that's not great. 40.5% hard hit rate. Yeah, I want to pick on this guy, and I also think that this bullpen is below average, at least below average in homers allowed. I think at one point to start the season they were leading the league in homers allowed. And it is mid-60s out there. Let's see. Pitching relievers. Home run per 9. Oh, wait. This is still player stats. I'm going to go team stats. Home run per 9 for bullpens. Yeah, Angels are allowing the second highest home run per 9 as a bullpen unit. So this is, it seems like a plus spot to stack the game, but definitely some Nats as well. So we have the Angels, obviously. We're going to add Nats. And Juan Soto, Josh Bell are going to be the obvious targets here. Look out for Nelson Cruz, whether or not he's going to be in the lineup. And yeah, we're not pitching either one of them. There's really just no reason to, right? At 100%. Oh, okay. Yeah. So let's see. Let's look at PrizePicks a little bit. Do a little PrizePicks drop. If you guys are looking to make sense of a big slate, maybe you don't want to manage 100, 150 lineups, you don't want to deal with the weather, hey, you can simplify your daily spend, your daily process, and go check out PrizePicks. You sign up using code GUNDACKER. They're going to double your first deposit up to $100, and you can attack some specific spots. You can reward the research you're already doing. You can play it as a supplement to your DFS spend. And we've kind of hunted out a few prompts that we might get behind. So if you want to tail a few, let's go ahead and take the Winder 4.5 strikeouts, right? So we'll make a little list here because we might mention it on the MLB PrizePicks. I'm gonna take a shot at Winder over 4.5 Ks, right? And then let's just look at the board elsewhere. Don't feel like we were in love with anything specifically. Eovaldi strikeouts is interesting. I think we did get that lineup for the White Sox, so we'll go check that out. Brisky's at 3 Ks. Garcia's at 5.5. Merrill Carey's at 5. So none of these other ones like are super appealing to me. So we might lean on, let's see, no run first innings, Blue Jays and Guardians. I'd probably take that, right? We'll just take a shot. With the wind blowing in, the cold weather, if that game starts, Shane Bieber versus Kevin Gossman. We'll go no run first inning, Blue Jays and Guardians. Guardians. So we'll add that to the card. Do you guys have any feeling in your bad knee? Braves and Brewers, I'm going to leave that one alone. Giants and Cardinals, Rays and Mariners. And then maybe we'll look at one-hitter fantasy points. So yesterday in the morning, and they didn't do it today, but yesterday we had Edman at 4.5 fantasy points, and he was leading off. And as a road leadoff hitter, plenty of implied at-bats. So let's see. Anybody looking like they can't miss? Let's go look at the bomb detector real quick. It looks really good for Juan Soto, I'll tell you that. We did like the righties against the righties for the Red Sox. Trouty looks good, obviously. Was that an under for the Jays guarding? Yeah, Emerson, that's an under. Right, Kevin Gausman versus Shane Bieber. Wind blowing in, cold, yucky. We'd hope that those two pitchers wait an inning before they give one up. Not a guarantee, but it's a hope. I'd like to drop a third one, but nothing screaming at me just yet. 6.5 might be a little low for Josh Bell, based on what we just uncovered for Yami Barria. If Josh Bell is going to be batting third, so we might get him 4 or 5 at bats here, 5 or 6 at bats rather. That might be a great opportunity for him. So that's something I'll put on the maybe list. Wait for that confirmed lineup. All right, let's leave it at that. Also, I want to go look at Underdog, and Underdog's very similar in that they offer props. So if you guys are already on PrizePicks, you're not an Underdog, well, we'll get you another deposit bonus. So if you sign up using this link in chat, code GUNDACKER everywhere, they'll double your first deposit over there. You know how PrizePicks does like Taco Tuesday? Well, they do something similar, and they did it yesterday. They have Dorian Finney-Smith 1 PRA, so you can attach that. You know, max out the promo. I think it might be $25. You can attach it to some NBA picks, which me and Josh will be live in about 35 minutes talking NBA. But you can also attach it to these baseball picks as well. So let's see if we can transfer our Winder pick to Underdog. Let's see if they offer anything on them. They have Adona at 86.5 pitches. So if you think he's going to get mollywopped, I'd probably take the under on that. I don't think they have Winder. No, they don't have Winder listed. That's intriguing. But I'd probably take that. And then one of the things Underdog offers that is unique to them is this little rivals mode where they pit players against each other from the same game. So depending on the news that comes from Embiid in that game, you'll see stuff like Jimmy Butler versus James Harden PRA, which I kind of lean the Butler side. But then if you just want to focus on baseball, a couple fun 1Vs. J-Ram versus Vladdy. That's a fun one with those pitching matchups. Yelich versus Acuna. That's a fun one. Yelich gets a +1. That's a fantasy point 1v1. Let's see, do we have any home run guys on our model versus not a home run guy? Kevin Kiermaier versus Adam Frazier. That one's kind of interesting because I think Adam Frazier typically bats higher than Kiermaier, right? Usually if Kiermaier's in the lineup, he's liable to bat last, and Frazier could be their leadoff guy. So that might just be, you take the chance on the leadoff guy. That's for total bases. Let's see. Jock Peterson versus Goldie. And Jock Peterson's always a pinch hitter, so a couple fun ones to jot down here. We'll look at some more of the NBA stuff here in a little bit, but anyway, just want to pass that along to you guys. We'll get the research going. What up, Obi-Wan? You doing all right, bro? Had four out of 5 first inning runs the other day. Yeah, no run first inning is probably one of the easier ones to hit. Closer to a coin flip than not, but a lot of times you can get the under probably hits more than it doesn't. Sometimes they have 2 elite pitchers and they don't list it, which gets frustrating. But today, I'll take a shot on Gausman and Bieber. I'm not giving up runs. All right, let's move on to the next game here. How many games we got left? 4. I'll try and get you guys out of here. Or I'll try and get us out of here so we can go do the basketball stream. Where we at on likes? 35 likes? Any chance we can get to like 50 plus likes? That'd be lit. Low-key lit. Marlins at the Padres. Sandy Alcantara taking on Yu Darvish. Implied run total for the Marlins is 3.1. The Padres 3.5. I'll tell you what. I mean, these are two great pitchers too. And Yu Darvish, when he's bad, he's bad. Alcantara is usually rock solid. I guess maybe against lefties a little bit harder, but his ground ball rate's pretty high. So if you wanted to nominate Marlins and Padres no run first inning under, I'd probably say that these are, two good pitchers when it comes to run prevention. But you do have to get around Jazz Chisholm. So maybe I'd throw that on the mix as well. Half a no run first inning for this one. We'll see. Both of these pitchers are probably gonna end up being in play. Really, really low implied run totals for both sides here. Alcantara on the road last year had a 3.98 xFIP, a 21.5% K rate, but the ground ball rate still pretty elite. The hard contact rate still low. Throwing strikes had a 1.14 home run per 9. So I think it rises a tick above what he did at home, but how could it not? Marlins Park has certainly been one of the best pitchers parks you could ask for. If we look at what he's done so far this season, swinging strike rate at 12%, first pitch strike rate at 53. We kind of want that to come up a little bit for his sake. But the Sierra and the xFIP, 4.29, 4.13, we want that to come down a little bit. Last two games, Seattle, Washington, a bad game against San Francisco. Maybe he needs a little bit of time to lock in here. These are definitely not like his peak or his potential. I think he could be one of the better pitchers in baseball. A 1.4 ground ball to fly ball ratio. I wonder. Let's see. What's his BABIP? 291 BABIP. So I mean, it's not like he's been unlucky. That's par for the course. Statcast has given us a 3.7% barrel rate, so he's not allowing people to put the business end of a bat on the ball. That's good. 34% hard hit rate. We're seeing some opportunity for progression. I think we know that he can be a good pitcher. So we're gonna play some of them. Fastball average velocities at 97. Last year it was 97, 98. Fastball, slider, changeup. His main pitches from last year, same as this season. And pitch value, it's got a negative grade on all those pitches so far, except the changeup. And then Yu Darvish, man. Yu Darvish has been elite when he's elite and bad when his luck just bottoms out here. So I understand wanting to play maybe a couple different ranges of outcomes here, because I do like this Marlins team as a Cinderella stack when I can get to them. And I don't think they're going to garner much ownership, and maybe Yu Darvish is going to pick up a bit more attention now that we're losing some pitching options. 12% swinging strike rate on the season for Darvish, and the batted ball data has given us a 3.89, a 3.88 Sierra and xFIP respectively. The first two games were his worst Sierra and xFIP. Remember that first game, he didn't allow a hit, so he was on the extreme lucky side. But it's coming back, those underlying metrics came back down to earth the last three games. It's looking a little bit more normal. So I do think we just bet on talent here, and these are two of the potential, top 5 talented pitchers on this slate based on who might actually pitch. So we're going to introduce both of them into the player pool. I'm going to put Sandy at tier 3 since he's been struggling. And the Sierra and xFIP doesn't agree with him yet. And then we'll give you Darvish the home court tier 2 introduction, and we'll go from there. As far as stacks goes, I don't really see redeeming qualities pre-flop to go super deep or super aggressive with either stack, but I think you could justify Manny Machado, Jazz Chisholm easily. And then, like I said, when Darvish caves, he caves, and it can get ugly. So Marlins could probably fall in low single-digit stack ownership, and you don't have to give up much equity to be there. So wouldn't mind it. What up, Corey? Quinn says, I took a no-run first inning prop in the Marlins Padres game last night. Machado homered with 2 outs. Oh, bro, who did I had a no-run first inning the other day. and it was a sweat. I had like corners on. What game was that? I don't remember. Maybe you guys sweated it with me, but I got there. I want to say it was like the Cardinals game or something weird. Trying my luck on MLB. Appreciate that, Emerson's. MLB, I'll tell you, those of you that are still new to baseball, you just got to have patience, and you got to scale back your daily play, right? Be truly cognitive of the bankroll management for baseball because the variance is so high. And then for prop betting, even more so. Like for me, MLB DFS is much easier than prop betting. For prop betting, my tips would just be flex plays and be really selective with what you're going after, and don't force plays if they're not there. All right, Mariners hosting the Rays. Matt Whistler. Let me see you whistle, baby. No, that sounded better in my head than once it came out. It wasn't great. Logan Gilbert on the bump for the Mariners. Whistler's a bullpen guy, right? Wasn't he with like the Braves at one point? Whistler. Projected opener. All right. 1.2. So you might get one trip through the order for Whistler, but probably not even a full trip. So if we have his opener, who's his reliever? Josh Fleming, lefty. So we'll see if the Mariners respond to that with a different look lineup. You'll get one look at Jesse Winker against a righty. If he's in the lineup, he started against the lefty yesterday, right? Against McClanahan. So, and I think he homered yesterday. I don't think it was off of McClanahan, but if I'm not mistaken, he did, right? Let me see. Winker did hit a bomb. Ugh. All right, so for stacking Mariners, we're really just stacking on the team. We're not really going to have a strong matchup to focus on. So Mariners have a 3-8 run total, whatever. When you get there, you get there. Logan Gilbert on the bump for the Mariners. He's an interesting case. Does have some strikeout potential. I think he does have an ability to be a top pitcher on the slate, but not often. But I think it's there, depending on what lineup they do roll out for the Rays here. This season, a 9.4% swing and strike rate, so that's a lot lower than I thought. Last two games have been really bad for him. And batted ball data is fine. Last game really bad for him against the aforementioned Miami Marlins, right? You Darvish better watch out. Prior to that, each game was pristine, and the ground ball rate is lower than his fly ball rate, and his line drive rate is pretty high as well. So I don't have the warm fuzzies here, and I thought we were missing more bats than this. He's about a strikeout per inning overall, though. So that's intriguing. Usually that type of swing and strike rate doesn't net you strikeout per inning results. Last year he was a 1-4K guy, so I'm kind of on the fence. I think if this lineup comes out weak enough, the Rays, that is, I might get to a little bit, but 9,200, maybe I feel like I'm stretching a little bit. How often can I get 20 fantasy points from Logan Gilbert? Every game so far. And I do like the fact that he's been getting to 100 pitches. What's his out prop at? 17.5. So basically daring you to say yes or no on 6 innings. That's probably too close to call. All right, I think from this far out, to diversify 100, 150, I'll get to a little bit of Logan Gilbert, but I do see some batted ball qualities that make me a little bit worried. So it's not going to be a core play. He might be the lowest owned guy in my rotation, but I think he will be there. But we'll hold out to see what this Rays lineup is. There are some strikeouts in this projected lineup: Rosarena, Brandon Lowe, Josh Lowe, Nate Lowe. Taylor Walls, 30%, Kevin Kiermaier, Mejia, and Brett Phillips all strikeout over 1-4 as well, or over 1-5, mostly 1-4. So there is some strikeout propensity there, but the underlying metrics do give us a cause for concern. And then with Mike Zunino, who's not in this one. They got Mejia in the projected lineups. And he homered yesterday. He's one of those guys that kind of makes the lineup more menacing, even though he strikes out 30% of the time. So we'll hold off on the Rays lineup. Right now, I think I get to a little bit of Gilbert. Maybe some Rays or some Mariners, but not much. All right, next game. D-backs hosting the Rockies. The Cleveland game just got postponed. Well, shoot. Okay, cool. All right, so let's make that adjustment in the spreadsheet real quick. So that's 4 games that have been canned. So what we'll do here is we'll make this red. We'll take the players out. This will take them out of the bomb detector. Then we will hide this, and we will type postponed here. And then we will resort the bomb detector. And I guess we gotta take Gossman and Bieber out of the pool. And I guess we would replace the Cleveland and Blue Jays no-run first inning. All right, let's go to Chase Field. Anybody know if the roof's open in Chase Field? Chase Field roof. Because it looks like it could be 100 degrees out there. Roof status. Chase Field roof open. There we go. Roof information. So Chase Field is one of the. Today's May 6th, right? They got it slated to be open. It is pretty hot in Phoenix. Phoenix, Arizona weather. Just type that. 95 degrees out there. So Chase Field, for those of you that missed out a couple years ago, Chase Field was pretty much Coors Field at one point, and how hitter friendly it played. And then they threw a humidor there. It's like second in elevation to Coors, something like that. And it's a dry desert air, right? So typically, once you get to July, August, they never open the roof. But early in the season, they tend to open it sometimes. And it looks like the roof could be open tonight, so we'll keep an eye on that. It's scheduled to be open. And if the roof's open, this becomes 90-plus degree baseball. And that's certainly advantage hitters, and we might get some offensive production. And I'll say from this far out, Chad Kuhl versus Merrill Kelly, I mean, these are guys that are closer to contact pitchers than anything, so put the ball in play. Bad things happen to good people. But an 8.5 run total seems really low if the environment is what it could be. So Chad Kuhl on the bump, Merrill Kelly on the bump. To Chad Kuhl's credit, he has been solid. Same with Merrill Kelly. They've been serviceable real-life pitchers. So I don't want to get too caught up in the roof open and 90-degree temps, but that's just an environment we haven't seen yet this season. 13.5% swing and strike rate on Kuhl so far this season. The batted ball data, 407 SIERA, 379 xFIP, and the ground ball rate, 45%. Line drive rate plus fly ball rate is still attackable. And the hard contact rate is The pull rate's high. So, if he doesn't die, I'm not surprised. And then the same thing with Merrill Kelly. I think he's probably the best real-life pitcher with no respect out there, if that makes sense. Plate discipline for him, 9.6% swing and strike rate, but the SIERA and xFIP really good. 3.4 SIERA, 3.38 xFIP. Ground ball rate higher than his fly ball rate. That's what you want. The hard contact rate sub 30%. So he's just like a perfect inning eater type guy. and not necessarily somebody with a lot of exploitable weaknesses. 7 doubles on the season, hasn't allowed a homer yet, so maybe that 0% home run to fly ball rate is due for some regression, and maybe we could split the batted ball data to kind of lean one way or the other. Looks like against lefties, 35% hard contact rate, 40.5% pull rate, fly ball rate at 30 plus a 27% line drive rate. Maybe one of these lefties goes out there and get them. Ryan McMahon, sure. But I do think, just generally speaking, I think I'm going to stack the ballpark here. And that was kind of an approach we took years back, man. Just stack the ballpark, just stack the ballpark, just stack the ballpark. So we're stacking the ballpark. So let's add both teams to the mix, Rockies and D-backs. And I might even look for opportunity to get the over 8.5 runs once we do verify that their roof is open. Because, hey, the roof they could change their mind and close the roof. That's just what we have now. Give me all the VAR show. Yeah, Downfall show is really, really good right now. Really, really good. So I'm stacking the game. All right, one game left to talk about, and then we'll get out of here. Cardinals at the Giants. Jordan Hicks taking on Alex Cobb. Jordan Hicks, a converted starter now, right? He was a closer turned starter, kind of Ranger Suarez-y. Has a lot of velo, which is not always the best thing. Hunter Green found that one out yesterday, right? 9.4% swing and strike rate on the season, and in only 2 games did that swing and strike rate get above 10%. So that's something to keep an eye on. The xFIP in Sierra, though, is still pretty respectable. Ground ball rate still pretty great. And then what do we want to look at? StatCast. Look at the barrels here. 14% barrel rate. Not what you want. Barrels are the most likeliest balls to turn into extra base hits, right? It's like a mixture of 95 plus mile an hour exit velocity, the proper launch angle, all that good stuff. So anything over 10%, something you're like, oh, wait a minute. And for him, it's 14%. So when he's allowing people to hit the ball, over 10% of that is, or 14% of that is a barrel. Against righties, 2 bombs, so it looks like a lot of damage has been done by righties so far. So let's see if the batted ball data lines up with that. Fly ball rate 27%, no line drive rate to righties, so that's probably a little unlucky, right? 50% home run to fly ball rate on a 27% fly ball rate with no line drive. So maybe that's a little unlucky. Maybe. And then the ground ball rate was 73%. I don't know. I'm willing to see how this plays out at 6K. Just no games worth having. It hasn't gone over 60 pitches. That's something to be alarmed of. Especially when it's a high velo guy. You always wonder about the longevity of a guy that's throwing 99 as a starter, right? 98.6 average fastball velocity. And then when they don't have a lot of pitches to back it up, you can kind of cheat. He has a 16 mile an hour or 15 mile an hour difference between his fastball and his slider. Yeah, I don't think we played Jordan Hicks. It just hasn't shown us that he can go 5 innings, 6 innings still in a QS on a site like Fanduel. So no Hicks for me. Alex Cobb on the bump for the Giants. Pull up his discipline so far. 12% swing strike rate. A lot of that from game 1. Game 2 and 3, not as much. 8%, 7.5%. And then the batted ball data on that, pristine. The last game got away from him, but I don't think he lasted very long. And Cobb's just been like the bane of my existence lately. Yeah, he got 2 outs in that last start. Prior to that, though, 11-1 ground ball to fly ball rate. I just don't, man. Of course, he gets 10 Ks against San Diego, right? I just don't think I'm gonna land on either pitcher that often here. And I have really big trust issues with Alex Cobb. 40, 60, 83 pitches. So I think I'm staying away from both pitchers in this game. I'm just gonna look elsewhere. Do we want offenses here? See, Cobb is just a big ground ball guy. So I think it's fair for both these guys have been big ground ball guys. So I think it's a little bit more fair to be expecting modest results from this game, power-wise. Maybe Hicks. I don't know. These lefties against Hicks, maybe like a Jock Peterson or a Yastrzemski or something can turn one around. But for the most part, I think this is one of my least expected, at least to target expected games. Both bullpens also have been above average in every category. So not a whole lot of fruitfulness later innings either way. We did get the Cardinals yesterday, so I'm gonna take my winnings and run. We literally called the Cardinals catches some of those lefties out of the pen yesterday. They took Alvarado and somebody else, and it was a lot of fun to have Cardinals. So this game just may not exist for me overall, though. Guys, you know I got a free Discord. Did you know that? We have the premium stuff. That's cool too. But you guys ain't got to open up that wallet. We have a free one. Link in the description below. It's the Gundacker Gaming Discord. And you guys keep it going 24/7 in the Prize Picks and Props channel. If you didn't know about that, now you know. The basketball contingent is really taking over, but I would love to see some of you baseball nerds get in there and get involved, and maybe we'll organize it a little bit more. And if you guys play MLB The Show or Fortnite or something like that, you want to squad up, hit me up. We got that going. So link in the description below. Get in there. And shout out to some of you guys that jumped in there yesterday. Shong0626, Baby Kangaroo, Marky Mark, and then a couple of you guys from the other day. So get in there. I'm always dropping cool things, cool deposit bonuses, and that's where I make all my announcements when we drop new videos, new streams, all that good stuff. So shout out to everyone that's in there, keeping it going. What up, Chill Robots? Doing all right. With another game postponed, how would you rank your pitchers on Fanduel? Yeah, guys, if you guys have any lasting questions, comments, concerns, I'm going to try and get you guys out of here in 5-6 minutes. So definitely throw them at me. So on Fanduel now, we really lost the top 4 pitchers on the slate, right? Think about it. We lost Garrett Cole, Max Scherzer, Kevin Gausman, Shane Bieber. So we are reaching. So I think Yu Darvish is probably one of the guys I'd rank as potentially number 1 on Fanduel, if that's the question. Because on Fanduel, I do like the 6th inning quality start guys, and I think Darvish is more likely to get that than not. He's gone 6 innings in all but one of his games so far this season, and has gotten you that quality start in all but one game as well. So Yu Darvish is probably number 1. And then behind him, probably Eovaldi. Eovaldi comes with a little bit more risk, but he's been pretty rock solid. He's also a guy that we've seen throw 100 pitches. So we got a couple guys that can go 100 pitches, potentially get us a quality start. We did get that White Sox lineup, and I didn't punch it in, so maybe I'll punch that in there and see if thoughts have changed. But I think Yu Darvish will probably be my number 1 pitcher on Fanduel tonight. Let's see, White Sox lineup. We did, right? I thought I saw White Sox. Yeah, there it is. Tim Anderson, AJ Pollock, Jose Abreu, Luis Robert, Yasmani Grandal, Gavin Sheets, Jake Braga, Reese McGuire, Lurie Garcia. So that is our White Sox lineup. And then we did get a Royals lineup, which is, they do have Salvi in it. Hunter Dozier is batting cleanup. Whit Merrifield, Bobby Witt, Bobby, Kyle Isbell, Michael A. Taylor. Remember, this game is not guaranteed to get a full game in. But, yeah, I'm thinking Darvish 1. And now his ownership has got to be through the roof based on what it could have been this morning, right? Any changes to the bomb detector? No. I mean, from, like, if you're talking about just taking out that game, possibly. Bomb detector like Salvador Perez. Remember that game has some rain concerns. It loves the righties from Boston. A lot of sample size behind that, too. Trevor Story has been very rough. He had a golden sombrero yesterday. I'm speculating that possibly he gets a day off, possibly doesn't lead off today. But Xander Bogaerts, JD Martinez, their bats have been a little bit more healthy, so I like them for power today. The Angels look really, really good. And then depending on your thoughts on Eric Lauer, I think Ronald Acuna and Ozzie Albies will always be fun names to click on against a lefty that doesn't throw an overbearing fastball. Hater is 4K. Do you think he'll play? Stop it, Trick. Stop it. Whatever you're trying to do, stop it. You just want to play Josh Hader? What are you doing? Unless you mean Bader, like the Cardinals Bader. Duran leading off for Boston. Did I call that or did I call that? It's like I have ESPN or something. What is the Boston lineup? Oh, they still have Story, though. Duran, Story, Devers. Martinez has been 5th? This is not how I would have done this lineup. I would put Story down in the bottom of the lineup. Kevin Plawecki's in it. JBJ's in it. Dalbec. All right. I like the middle of the lineup a little bit more. Duran is whatever. Remember, Duran had an OBP like almost 400 in the minors so far this season with like 7 stolen bases. A lot of speed in his legs. So I don't know. Maybe Trevor Story gets better pitches if there's a speedster on base distracting the pitcher. So we're still stacking the Red Sox here. You guys want to go old school? Old school sign-off music? Nope. Okay. Let's see if you guys remember this one. Oh. Nostalgia? Oh. Hey, chat. Twitter.com/Gundacker. If you got anything else for me, man. I appreciate you guys, as always, making part of my day, be part of your day. I'll be back a couple minutes with Josh. We're going to talk some NBA for tonight's slate. If you guys want spreadsheet at your fingertips, go to rundfs.com. Get yourself a pass, man. I love you guys. I hope you guys crush it tonight. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money.